Hey everyone, we're going to continue our conversation today about how mathematicians can see connections between whole numbers and fractions. Yesterday we began to think about how fractions can be represented as whole numbers and how we can make whole numbers turn into fractions. So before we do that, I want to review with you the parts of a fraction because this is so important to being able to use fractions and think about fractions in lots of different ways. So mathematicians use numerators and denominators to represent their fractions, and they can be equivalent to a whole number. So in this picture here we've been talking about for a couple of days, the numerator is represented on the top of the fraction. And remember, that's the amount of pieces that we see, or the amount of pieces that are represented. The bottom, or the denominator, is the amount of pieces it takes to make one whole. So as we relate this over to the picture here, the pink piece here is worth one whole. And the fraction splits that whole into pieces. And we see 4 pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the numerator. We see 4, so there's 4 in the numerator. The denominator is how many pieces are in the whole. So here's the whole. To make those pieces fit so that they together make the same size as one whole, it takes 4 pieces. So the denominator is 4. So here, 4/4 is equal to 1 because there's 4 pieces and all 4 of those pieces fit together to make one whole. So we're going to continue practicing that together and that thinking together in our mini lesson today. So I have 3 different pictures for us to think about. And what I'm wondering is what whole number is represented and what fraction is represented. So I'm going to help you with the whole number, and then I want you to think about what the fraction is that's being represented with the pieces below. So the red piece, one of those pieces is equal to one whole for all of these. So here I see that there's 2 red pieces, so that means that there are 2 wholes being represented. Now I want you to think about what the fraction with the green tiles is. So here's all those green tiles. What fraction do we see with all of these green tiles? Remember, the numerator at the top is how many pieces you see. The denominator is how many pieces fit in one whole. Now, you are not going to have a horizontal fraction bar to use. So I want you to use this / button. So your numerator will go on the left. So I'm going to just put a random numerator in. And then you will have a /, and then the denominator is going to go on the right side of the slash. So it will look something like this. Now, this is not correct. I just wanted to model for you how you can type it in using your keyboard. So use that / as you think about this. What is the fraction you see with the green tiles? Go ahead and enter that into Play Pause It now. All right. You should have entered 10/5. And here's why. There are 10 pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And there are 5 pieces in one whole, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 10/5 is correct because there's 10 pieces and 5 fit in one whole. Let's do another one together. This time we see 1, 2, 3 red pieces, so there's 3 wholes. And the orange pieces is the fraction we want to determine. So what do you think the fraction is with those orange pieces? Enter that into Play Pause It. All right, let's think about it together now that you've entered your thinking. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 total pieces inside this picture. And there are 1, 2, 3 pieces in one whole. So the denominator is 3. So 9/3 is correct because there's 9 pieces and 3 in one whole. Awesome work so far. Here's the last one on this page that we'll think about. This time, the whole is big, but there's just one of them. So we're going to put 1 for our whole. What fraction do you see in this picture? All right. If you entered 12 twelfths, you are correct, and here's why. Let's talk about it. There are 12 total pieces right here with the black tiles, and there are 12 pieces that equal 1 whole. So 12 twelfths is correct. Now, one thing that you and your teacher might have talked about yesterday is the fact that division is also really related to division. So fractions and division are related. So when we've got 10 fifths, this also means 10 divided by 5. 10 divided by 5 is 2. So these 10 pieces are split and divided by 5, and there's 2 pieces left. Here, we've got 9 total pieces that are put into 3 groups, 3 wholes. 12 pieces split into 12 groups equals 1 whole. So fractions and division definitely are related. Let's think about one more thing together, and that's without pictures, I'm wondering if we can create some fractions that are equivalent to the whole number. So the whole number that we're going to be thinking about is 3 today. So I'm going to bold that so that we don't forget. 3 is our whole number. I have 2 incomplete fractions down here. They both have a denominator. This one is thirds. So I'm wondering how many pieces I would need in thirds to create 3 wholes. So I know in 1 whole, there's 3 pieces. So 1 whole is 3 pieces. 2 wholes would be 6 pieces. And then 3 wholes would be 9 pieces. So 9 thirds would equal 3, just like in this picture. Now, what if I change the denominator to fourths? Go ahead and enter into PlayPosit how many fourths would I need to equal 3 wholes? Think about that and enter it into PlayPosit now. All right. If you said 12, you're correct, and here's why. In 1 whole, there would be 4 pieces. In 2 wholes, there would be 8 pieces. And in 3 wholes, there would be 12 pieces. So 12 fourths is equal to 3 wholes. We are going to continue practicing this in Minilesson next week, but I can already tell that you're doing an amazing job with this. So keep working hard, and I'm excited to see you as you continue to practice during our math workshop today. As you get started, please keep in mind that we need to have these math behaviors whether we're in school or at home. Manage your time wisely so that you can get your work done. Work the whole time so that you are not distracted, and don't be distracted by other things. Respect your colleagues, so respect everyone in your house, so that you can stay focused, and so that they can, and so can they. And bring your best, so be your best in everything that you do. Today, during reflection at the very end, we are going to think about this question. I want you to be thinking about it during rotations today because you're going to have a lot of time to work with fractions. So as the denominator of a fraction gets larger, so the bottom number, the denominator gets larger, what happens to the size of the piece? Think about that as you work today, and we'll come back to this question during reflection time. For now, though, you are ready for the first rotation. You are going to have unit of study, you're going to have small group, and you're going to have Dreambox today. Make sure you spend quality time with all those rotations so that you can learn and grow as a mathematician today. Have a great rest of workshop, and I'll see you soon in the next rotation.